Every one of you might have a horror experience in your life. Today it's about some really creepy ghost videos that you can find on YouTube, which is not at all recommended to watch alone. In order to prepare for ghost stories so genuine and horrifying that you won't be able to sleep through the night, now it's time for some real stories. The Ghosts of Oxford Milford Road. According to legend, there was a young guy pursuing a young woman in a remote area of the town many years ago, most likely in the 1940s. He visited every night after dark because the woman's parents didn't approve of the match. The girl would sneak out of her farmhouse after her parents had gone to bed and flash the car's lights 3 times. Then her young suitor would speed off on his motorcycle. One evening, he turned a touch too sharply just before her house. He traveled in the opposite direction from the motorcycle. He was unable to survive because of the severity of his wounds. However, there is a rumor that his smitten ghost still prowls the section of Milford Road. To test this, an editor went to Oxford Milford Road. He was in his car. He turned off the engine and made 3 light flashes. There was a single headlight 3/4 of a mile down the road. It never stopped approaching him. It was getting nearer and nearer. He turned on the lights in his car as if there was going to be a crash. He anticipated seeing a young person on a bike, abandoning his joke now that he had been discovered. However, nothing was present. The lights simply vanished. This was something he couldn't explain. Alabama's most haunted. Ghosts in the tunnel at Sloss Furnaces. Birmingham, Alabama was established 5 years after the Civil War. When Sloss Furnaces was first built in 1871, the United States needed masses of pig iron to repair its deteriorating infrastructure. According to the company's official website, hundreds of employees entered the building a year later. Work on blast furnaces was both suffocating and dangerous. Many employees began dying after plummeting to their deaths inside the furnaces. During the early 1900s, circumstances had gotten worse due to a harsh foreman named James Slag Wormwood, who took unnecessary risks in order to boost productivity. Nearly 50 workers lost their lives at Sloss during his time there, and numerous others were hurt in horrible mishaps. His employees allegedly hurled him into the furnace as payback in 1906. You can still wander through the Sloss Furnace grounds if you dare. Even Slag's voice screaming, "Get back to work," might be heard, along with other strange occurrences. Ghost of Bellamy Bridge, Marianna, Florida. This one might be quite disturbing. Travel over this eerie bridge in Marianna, Florida, where the building is the subject of countless ghost stories, for a taste of genuine, frightening love. Elizabeth Jane Croom Bellamy wed Dr. Samuel C. Bellamy, a local politician, in the 1830s. Her garment unintentionally caught fire on the evening of their wedding, leaving the young bride with horrific burns. Although she initially lived, she eventually died. According to legend, Elizabeth's love for her husband was so intense that she was unable to sleep. She was interred alongside the banks of the Chipola River. From the bridge, one may protrudely see the dead newlywed, clad in white, strolling the banks, which were built after she died. She allegedly looks to be on fire while either going through swamps, leaping headfirst into rivers as if to put out the flames, or pensively strolling alongside rivers. The Ghost of Deer Island, Biloxi, Mississippi. Anthony Ragusin, often known as Mr. Tony, first told this story in a Sun Herald column on May 20th, 1922. He claims that 2 fishermen camped up on Deer Island off the coast of Biloxi in the early 1800s. They were aware of the noises, but they disregarded them until it was impossible. They asserted that when they investigated the disturbance, they discovered a headless skeleton that pursued them. They hurried from the island and promptly headed for their boat. According to legend, The skeleton frame belonged to a pirate whose commander hacked off his head before leaving his corpse behind as a grotesque guardian to watch over hidden wealth. Ghost of the Stanley Hotel. The Stanley's eerie past is supported by a variety of verifiable facts and occurrences, as well as a ton of anecdotal evidence and conjecture. Hotel guests and personnel have reported many unusual and incomprehensible events, including hearing voices that don't belong to anyone, being touched by someone or something they can't see, and hearing disembodied voices. The Villisca Axe Murder House in Villisca, Iowa. Josiah and Sarah Moore of Villisca, Iowa, were fatally beaten inside their home on June 10, 1912. The 4 kids were slaughtered, along with 2 friends who were staying the night, and the crime has never been solved. Visitors are drawn to their home because it is one of the most spooky places in the nation. Some guests even spend more than $400 every night. Children's voices, falling lamps, moving ladders, and falling objects have all caused tours to end early. And in 2014, a nighttime self-injury by a paranormal investigator. The Mudhouse Mansion. The Mudhouse Mansion is a notorious building that was, until recently, situated in Fairfield County, Ohio. It was constructed sometime between the 1840s and 1900, yet no one can seem to agree on the exact year. Unlike other abandoned houses on this list, it was demolished in 2015 after going uninhabited since the 1930s, so regretfully, you can no longer visit it. Lulu Hartman Mast was the property's last occupant, at least legally, and a relative, Jean Mast, is the current owner. There are many legends about purported crimes occurring because there is so little evidence about who lived here and when, and because abandoned sites tend to spark the evil side of the mind and consequent haunting. However, the sources don't seem to be very reliable. Now, think about your place. Is that haunted? There comes an end to today's video. Do let us know your opinion in the comments.